You see her reaction right here? That was pretty much my reaction when I saw this trailer. I couldn't believe it. I thought it would never happen. A lot of things went on throughout the decades that this thing has been dormant. I thought it would never happen. I really forgot it and put it in the back of my mind, like God Hand, essentially. I think God Hand has been put in my mind a lot because I love that game so much. It's such a unique, action game. But Okami, I thought was dead because the studio that made it went away. Capcom killed it because it didn't sell well at the same time that Halo was released. What the fuck was that about? So, yeah, I thought it was dead, bro. It's been 2 decades. This game came out on the PS2. You could probably go to Wiki and look it up there yourself if you really care about Okami. But this game came out on the PS2 in the GameCube era, if you will, and has been ported multiple times. It was on the PS3. It was on the Nintendo DS as Okami Den. It's a different game than Okami Den is, but maybe they're gonna put some stuff from that game into this one. But it is a sequel nonetheless. There, a prequel kind of because it's a puppy now. You know what I'm saying? It's a gray area. This one's likely going to star the main character Amaterasu and Izzy the Flea, I think his name is, and continue their adventures. Why this game is so popular, even now, before I go into that, let me go through what I've felt through other people throughout the decades. It won't take long, trust me. So, throughout the years, I have an Okami shirt and I have an Okami pin. Okami pin I put on my hats. And maybe once a year, someone will point that out to me. I wanted the name of the character. It's Amaterasu on my thing, but nobody will know unless you know. And the people that know the wolf from Okami, like I said, the name is not on there. We automatically have a bond because we know how good the game is. It's like that. So just by the picture of the character, people have a strong connection with it. That's how powerful it is. So, is the game good? Essentially, if you like Zelda, the original Zelda game, there's new Zelda games I don't really. Anyway, if you like the classic Zelda games, especially Ocarina of Time, you're gonna like this game. It has a lot of connections with the same thing. The way the game starts is not like a Zelda game. The adventure stuff is not like a Zelda game. But once you go into the actual dungeons, the puzzle stuff like that, it's very much a Zelda game. You get bombs, you get like a grappling hook kind of thing, there roses, if you will. You get very Zelda-ish type weapons in the game. So for sure. Zelda uses her sword, if you will, to attack enemies. But unlike in Zelda games, it's kind of like a mix between Kingdom Hearts and Zelda. In Zelda games, you can see your enemies on the screen and slash them with your sword and block with your sword and use bombs in battle. That is true. Same thing in Okami. The differences are when you see an enemy on screen in this game, you get taken to a special grid area. It's all seamless, and you attack enemies within that particular area. You slash and dash. You could like draw a line on screen there to slash them for extra damage. You can like a tap on the screen and with your ink brush and blind them for a little bit there and go in for a melee attack. You can draw a bomb on screen there to blow up enemies. Some enemies are more susceptible to certain brush strokes, that kind of stuff over there. So that's where the strategy comes into mind. So yeah, it's a great game, a great concept, if you will. And then in the dungeons, it's different because it's a different type of feel in the dungeons. So the music is great in the game. When you complete an area, if you will, kind of in the same vein as Assassin's Creed. This is before Assassin's Creed, but when you quote unquote complete an area in this game, the whole world goes from like dim colors to beautiful watercolors, like bright, brilliant colors. It looks absolutely beautiful. Of course, it takes hours and hours to actually fulfill people's requests and, get rid of certain demons and like certain giant demons. And when the big boss is done there, the whole area lights up there and the color's restored, essentially. So in a vein of like, I guess, Mario Sunshine, when you fulfill a request, like when you get the big star, if you will, the area gets brighter. But in this game, the areas around you are really dim. You are bright. but the areas around you in the area are kind of dim looking, like kind of like monochrome. But when you actually fulfill your stuff over there, like the trail that you leave when you're moving around in the game, it's like beautiful flower colors. That one's bright. Your flea, your best friend, your companion, he's bright, you're bright, and the footsteps you are, but everything around you kind of dim, kind of dim. But when you fulfill the request and the area brightens up there, it looks much better, obviously, and you get new side quest stuff like that over there. So it's like that. Like I said, it's a very intuitive game over there. I got the game twice on the PS2 back in the day, and I got it on the PS3, and also have it now on the Switch as well. So I'm definitely a fan of the game. So when I see people crying and tearing up over Okami and getting sequel, I understand exactly what you feel. I know exactly what you feel. The people that don't know, they probably are playing Fortnite and Minecraft too much to care about other stuff other than, free to play games. But yeah, I definitely know what this one is about. The reason why people are shocked that this thing even exists is because it was allegedly killed. Essentially, Capcom killed the studio that made the game almost immediately because it didn't meet the quota, and we haven't heard a peep out of them for like 2 decades. Beautiful Joe came out around the same time as this one, same studio that came out. So I thought it was just gone. The only thing I thought in my head, like ironically recently, was the only thing they can do with this game is remake it. Just like the graphics in the PS2, GameCube are fine for what they were, but nowadays just upgrade them, make the hair on the Okami's fur, more detailed. The ink brush strokes on the screen could be really cool. You could probably even use the touchpad, doing circular motions with the touchpad for the brush strokes, that kind of stuff. You could modernize it. You could make it look great. But like when they said sequel, I'm like, oh shit, that means all new stuff, and it's gonna be, on the PS5 and then the PC and stuff like that. So like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they got. And when I saw this, when I saw that, I was like, checkmate. I was literally like, checkmate. Hideki Kamiya, he's the guy responsible for Resident Evil 4, Beautiful Joe, God Hand, and Okami. He's the guy. He also works at, I believe it's Platinum Games. I'm not sure what's happening with Platinum Games right about now, but he's the guy. He's the main guy. He's the guy who did Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, Beautiful Joe, Okami. He's the guy. And he's doing the Okami sequel. And has he lost his touch? No, he hasn't. So when I saw him on them, I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, yes, this is going to be some good shit there. If I don't get a whiff of wokeness, which I shouldn't, if I don't get a whiff of wokeness in the game, I'm buying that shit full price on day one, bro. It's like that, bro. That's how much I love the series. So knowing how things are nowadays, it's probably gonna come like some super like premium edition, like with the Okami puppy or whatever, like in a plush toy or whatever for like $100, and I'm getting that too. So yeah, I have some Okami stuff in my place. So yeah, it's amazing. On a scale of 1 to 10, how shocked I was, like a fucking 10. I would not. Virtua Fighter coming back. I would compare to Okami. The big surprise at the Game Awards was Clive in Tekken 8. That probably was like a 10. Shock right there. Like, what the fuck? Definitely. And Virtua Fighter coming back, I was not as surprised. I was surprised because I don't think they're gonna make a lot of money with that game because it's a very technical game. They shouldn't do it anymore. Maybe if you dial it back and make it simpler, it could be a thing. But I was definitely shocked to see it even exist. But Okami, I never thought I would see an announcement for Okami ever again. I never thought it would happen ever again. Virtua Fighter, in the back of my mind, I did think something somewhere with that one because I don't think Sega likes to rest on dead franchises much. So maybe, but Okami in Capcom, I never thought it would come back ever again. Remake it, yes, I did think so. But a sequel, like with a budget and like new ideas and stuff like that, I never thought it would happen again. I never thought it would happen again. God Hand, getting a sequel, even that's like a 15. Almost impossible. Even though they got the guy now, Hideki Kamiya, he's the guy who made God Hand. If it does happen, it is possible now. Now that Okami's back there, Beautiful Joe could come back as well, but I don't think they're gonna go that route. I think next would be God Hand of like holy shit, because Capcom owns the rights to God Hand, Okami, and Beautiful Joe. So they were sitting on Okami for a while, and Okami's been ported so much, like Resident Evil 4 has been ported so much. It's very possible that they give feelers out to Okami, but was God Hand barely made it to PS3, bro. It barely made it to PS3. So like people were begging for that shit to be on PS3, and Capcom gave in there. We had never heard of people out of sense. So God Hand, I don't know about that one. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but I don't play it as much anymore because I have other games to play. But I don't think so, bro. So, but Okami coming back there, it's unbelievable. The only thing with Okami sequel that I'm kind of worried about is that I believe that the flea's name is Izzy. Forgive me if I'm getting that wrong, but people who play the game know what I'm talking about. If Izzy the Flea is not as quote unquote horny as he was back then. He was kind of like down bad for the bitches back then. I'm not gonna lie, goddess is what you want to call them. He was kind of down. He was like bouncing up and down like a horny little motherfucker, like a dog in heat. He was like damn, you're hot. Like he was very quote unquote chauvinistic for back then. Nobody cared back then, but they care now because they have easy access to everything now. So if he's not as down bad anymore, I wouldn't be surprised. If he is down bad like he always was, $100 edition. You're hearing it right now out of my mouth. If I see in the videos that Izzy the Flea is still down bad for the bitches, $100. Why? Because they didn't cave in the pressure, and they deserve my money. I want to see Izzy be down bad for the bitches like he always was, and if he is, I'm in there. I want to see the goddesses look like goddesses, and I want to see Izzy like quote unquote drool over them, even though Izzy doesn't have a face. You know what I'm saying? If he's still the same way, I'm in there. That means they know and care about the lore, and Izzy's not going to change. He shouldn't change because it's a Flea. What do you want? So let's see what happens over there. That's it for now. Flag off.